Pay attention to these images. A seemingly ordinary garage, in a quiet town in the countryside of Mato Grosso, Brazil. A woman is sitting, waiting for someone. She holds a glass of wine, wearing light clothes. This woman is Sabrina Iara de Mello, a gynecologist doctor, respected, known for saving lives every day. Minutes later, a motorcycle stops in front of the house. The man who gets off is Michel Bonotto, 35 years old. A local businessman. A close friend of Sabrina's husband. A friend so close that he visited the house often, appeared in family photos, toasted at parties, was treated like a brother. But that night, he was not there as a friend. The house's own security cameras recorded everything. Ivan hesitates for a few seconds. He seems unsure. He looks around, as if he knew he was about to cross a dangerous line. Sabrina stands up, approaches, says something in his ear, and then they kiss. A long kiss. Intimate. Without doubt. She pulls him closer. He responds. The images show a clear game of seduction, with no room for interpretation. Then, Sabrina signals for him to enter the house. Ivan hesitates again. After all, that was his best friend's house. Her husband's bed. But desire defeats fear. He goes in. 40 minutes later, the cameras record Ivan leaving. Now with confident posture. Smiling. Sabrina walks him to the gate. They exchange more kisses. Before leaving, Ivan even looks directly at the camera. And waves. A gesture that would later be interpreted as mockery. These images would be the last time Ivan was seen alive. Because hours later, the person who would watch every second of this video was the owner of the house. Gabriel Taka. A businessman, owner of a beverage distribution company and a well-known bar in the city of Sorriso, Mato Grosso. Married to Sabrina, Ivan's best friend. Gabriel had traveled for work. When he returned home, as usual, he decided to check the security cameras. Maybe out of routine. Maybe out of intuition. And that was when his world collapsed. On the screen, his wife in the arms of his best friend. The kisses. The entrance into the house. The calm exit. The wave to the camera. Each frame was like an invisible stab. But Gabriel did not scream. He did not call anyone. He did not confront Sabrina at that moment. According to the investigation, something much more dangerous began to form in his mind. While for many a betrayal ends in separation, for Gabriel it turned into revenge. In the following days, he acted as if nothing had happened. He continued talking to Ivan normally. He laughed. He talked. He scheduled meetings. Ivan in turn seemed calm. Maybe believing the affair had gone unnoticed. Maybe thinking everything would remain secret. But it would not. Because Gabriel had already made a decision. And someone would pay with their life. But it would not be Sabrina. In his mind, his wife would be forgiven. The target would be the friend. That was when a new character entered this story. Danilo Guimarães. A man Ivan barely knew. According to police, Danilo was hired by Gabriel to carry out the plan. Nothing could look like a planned murder. It had to look like a common fight. A bar argument. Something trivial. Something no one would investigate deeply. Gabriel then made the invitation. He called Ivan to go to his bar, like so many other times. A familiar place. Where Ivan felt safe. Ivan accepted. Without imagining that it would be his last night. The atmosphere was normal. Music. Drinks. Conversations. Nothing unusual. But at one of the tables was Danilo, watching. According to the investigation, at a certain moment Gabriel started an argument with Ivan. An argument with no real reason. Raised voices. Tension in the air. And while everyone looked at the two friends arguing, Danilo approached from behind. And attacked. Ivan was stabbed in the back. Inside the bar. In the place where he felt safe. The attacker fled right after. Gabriel pretended surprise. Shouted. Called for help. Created right there the version of a fight that got out of control. Ivan was still alive. Severely injured, but breathing. He was placed in a car and rushed to the hospital. And this is where this story, which already seemed shocking, becomes even darker. Before being attacked, Ivan had done something that would change the entire investigation. According to police, at a certain moment, Ivan noticed the unknown man, Danilo Guimarães, watching him with excessive attention. It was not a normal bar glance. It was fixed. That was when Ivan did something simple, but that would completely change the course of the investigation. Discreetly, he turned on his phone and started recording. In the video, which would later be partially recovered by forensic experts, Danilo appears sitting at the table, speaking in a strange way. As if venting. As if trying to seem interesting. He talks about people who hire others to kill. About ordered crimes. About how some problems are solved that way. Minutes later, the attack came. The stab in the back. The fall to the ground. The chaos in the bar. The hitman fleeing. The betrayed friend pretending surprise. If that video had remained intact, the case would likely have been solved much faster. But someone made sure it disappeared. Ivan arrived at the hospital in critical condition. Even so, doctors managed to stabilize him. For a few hours, he showed signs of improvement. He spoke with his mother. He was able to communicate. And it was during this period that something strange began to happen. Shortly after his hospitalization, Sabrina Iara de Mello appeared at the hospital. She introduced herself as a doctor, said she was a friend of the patient, and because of her profession, she had easier access to restricted areas. Hospital cameras recorded the moment she entered the sector where Ivan was being treated. In one of the images, it is possible to see her standing beside the stretcher, at the head of the bed, with Ivan's phone in her hands. While he was being prepared for medical procedures, Sabrina was using the device. According to police, it was at that moment that everything was deleted. The video of the conversation with Danilo. The intimate messages between her and Ivan. Photos. Records of meetings. Evidence of the extramarital relationship. Practically all the content was erased. The phone would only be returned to the family 3 days later. Clean. As if nothing had ever existed there. When questioned, Sabrina did not deny it. She admitted that she deleted the files. But she gave a surprising justification. She said she did it to protect the victim. An explanation that raised even more suspicion. Protect? By deleting evidence? Meanwhile, Ivan began to suspect something. According to witnesses, in a moment of clarity, he realized his phone had been tampered with. He became furious. Outraged. And then gave a clear order to the medical staff and family: she is not coming in here anymore. He no longer wanted to see Sabrina, the woman he had been having an affair with. It was as if he had been betrayed a second time. First by the friend who set him up. Then by the lover who erased his story. Shortly after, Ivan suffered cardiac arrest. And died. With his death, the version presented by Gabriel initially seemed to make sense. A bar fight. Self-defense. A tragic accident. But the civil police did not take long to find contradictions. First, they discovered that Gabriel lied when he said he barely knew Ivan. Images on social media showed the two. Together at parties, dinners, family events. Longtime friends. Like brothers. Then, they found records of Gabriel talking with Danilo before the crime. Long before. Enough to rule out any casual meeting. The supposed bar fight never existed. Everything had been staged. And the more police investigated, the more Sabrina's name appeared at the center of the story. The doctor who deleted evidence. The lover who had motive. It did not seem like desperation. It seemed like control. Forensics managed to recover fragments of the deleted data from the phone. And what they found confirmed everything. Intimate messages between Sabrina and Ivan. Compromising photos. Clear evidence of the relationship. And parts of the video recorded before the attack. Enough to destroy the version of a random crime. From that point on, police launched the operation called Intimate Enemy. Gabriel Taka was arrested as the mastermind of the crime. Danilo Guimarães was arrested as the executor. But Sabrina remained free. She began to face charges of procedural fraud, and continued being investigated for possible direct involvement in the homicide. This decision outraged the public. On social media, the question was always the same: how is the man who stabbed in prison? The husband who planned it is in prison. But the woman who deleted the evidence remains free. For many, Without her actions, the crime would have been solved much earlier. For others, she was part of the plan from the beginning. But there was still a bigger doubt. Something investigators began to raise behind the scenes. What if Sabrina knew about the plan beforehand? What if the attack was not just revenge by a betrayed husband? And you? After all this, do you believe it was just a crime of jealousy? Or are we facing something much bigger, much colder, and much more planned than it seems? Leave your opinion below, and see you soon.